Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. Not doing any chess, not doing anything actually. Today I'm going to be doing I'm going to be petting my dog. Come here, girlie. Today we're going to do some corrections for my students because I'm taking forever to get these in and to grade them. So I figured it'd be pretty useful for both my students and for the public at large to do some of these corrections as a video. So sort of help me get through all of them a little quicker, get them out to my students while other people around the world can sort of profit from seeing as what it's like from the teacher's perspective to grade a writing, or what it's like from a native speaker's perspective to look at something that someone has written, someone who is not a native speaker, what they have written. So let's take a look at this. In these writings, we have two subjects. One is harassment in Morocco, and the other one was to find a social problem like harassment and how to solve it with some sort of small business. So I have a couple of topics here. Let's start with this first one. It says, in our life, we have a lot of problems, such as financial problems, which cause us a big issue to continue our life. One of the main source of this financial problems is being addicted to something which make us spending more than you earn trying to satisfy your addiction. Also moving out on your own, which used to anyways, let's not do that. So you can see a lot of the mistakes here. My autocorrect is telling me where the mistakes are already. But let's start from the beginning. In our life, we have a lot of problems, such as financial problems, which cause us big issues to continue our life. Okay, what about this sentence? In our life, we have a lot of problems, such as financial problems, which cause us big issues to continue our life. Now, the topic of this seems to be financial problems. That seems to be the topic that this student wants to write about. So we're not going to say such as. We're going to say, in our life, we have a lot of problems. One of these is financial problems. Now, one of these is financial problems, which cause us big issues to continue our life. Okay, I don't like the second half of this sentence, but let's just talk about this is really quick. Now, here we have financial problems with an S, plural. And here we have these, also plural. But the reason why we use is because we have one. One of these is financial problems, which cause us big issues to continue our life. Okay, one of the main sources. So you have many sources, and you're going to talk about one of them. You have many problems, and you're going to talk about one of them. One of the main sources of problems, of these financial problems. Okay, here you go. One of the sources is being addicted to something which, now something, singular, something which makes us spending. Makes us spending. Now, you make someone angry, you make someone sad, you make someone feel something. So we use the base form of the verb after make. Make him go, make him do it, make him try it, make him believe it. Make plus the base form of the verb is what we do when you say you force someone to do something. Force someone to do it, make him do it, make her do it. makes us spend more than you earn trying to satisfy your addiction. Now, this sentence is really, really long. You can see it's already over one line. It's definitely more than 15 or 16 words, which is as long as a sentence should ever be. So we need to cut this up, just on principle. On principle alone, we need to cut that sentence up. Also moving out. So also this is going to be something like another source or another one. Another one of the main sources, another cause. Let's not repeat the word source. Another cause is moving out on your own. Which used to a high standard of living that took your parents decades to achieve. Okay, took your parents decades to achieve. Another cause is moving out on your own. And here we're going to say while continuing a high standard, maintaining is better. While maintaining a high standard of living that took your parents decades to achieve. Another cause is moving out on your own while maintaining a high standard of living. Let's say the same high standard of living that took your parents decades to achieve. There we go. In order to avoid all problems, these problems, we should simplify our lifestyle and pay for what we need, not for what we like. Okay, I like it. This is good. This is good. Now, the problem with this writing is that it doesn't answer the question that I posed to my students, which was to talk about a problem in society and then answer it with some sort of business, some sort of small business. So this does talk about a problem we have in our society, but it doesn't talk about a business. So the grammar on this was significantly below what the student should have. And the student didn't write on the topic that I wanted him to talk about. So I can only give this a 4 out of 10. Because a 5 out of 10 would have been on topic and bad grammar. And a bad topic and bad grammar, I can only give it a 4 out of 10. All right. One of our main now it's one of the problems. It's the same mistake that the previous writer had. One of our main problems in our country is harassment. Period. Girls are struggling, yes, but it's more of a habit, right? It happens regularly. It happens all the time. It's something that we do routinely, or it happens routinely. So let's use the simple present. Girls struggle daily with this issue. Now, this sentence is talking about the problem, and this sentence is talking about the reason. So they're not the same idea. So they can't be a part of the same sentence. So we need to separate them. When we have different ideas, we need to separate them with different sentences. Girls struggle daily with this issue. Capital letter. From my point of view, the reason is our bad. Okay, here you can say two things. You can say education system, or you can say system of education. Both are correct. Which is the basic problem. Not the basic problem, the essential problem. Basic means something else. Or it's used in different contexts. We don't talk about the basic problem, which is the essential problem that we should solve first. By giving extra classes to students about respect. Okay, now I like this idea, but you can see how enormous this sentence is. And if I hadn't put a period there, this would have been one sentence. Just one enormously long sentence. So we need to break this up. From my point of view, the reason is our bad system of education. It is the essential problem that we should solve first by giving extra classes to students about respect. And so here we have by giving, and here we need to have and by hiring, or and hiring more teachers, like in Japan. This is very random. This like in Japan, it's very random. So if you say like in Japan, you're presuming that I have a lot of knowledge about the Japanese education system, which I don't. So let's just get rid of that, because I don't know enough about the Japanese education system to know what you mean if you say like in Japan. Now, if you wanted to say like in Japan, they have small teacher to student ratios and this has been very successful, that's great. But right now, you just have three words that basically mean nothing to the person who's reading it. It is the essential problem. And think. I think. I think that even the parents have a part in children's behavior. Maybe an important part. By influencing them and leading them to the good and right path. Okay. All right, I get that. I think that's good. However, this sentence strikes me as something that's very obvious. Of course, parents influence their children's behavior. This doesn't feel like a complete paragraph because it doesn't really tell me something interesting. Like, this is very obvious. So the writing was okay, right? This problem here, by giving and hiring, this is a problem called parallelism. It means that when you use the infinitive, I like to do it and to go there. I like doing it and going there. This is called parallelism, where you need to use the same tense or the same verb or the same format each time. So that's not a really big grammar mistake. The biggest grammar issue in here in this paragraph, right, was the usage of sentences, which is a beginning level skill. You should be able to write complete sentences that separate ideas at the beginning level. This paragraph also lacked communicative intent. And what I mean by communicative intent is that it wasn't really trying to tell me something. There was nothing here that was like, oh wow, I've never thought of that before. That's interesting. How do you solve harassment? Educate people and have their parents participate more in their lives. Those seem very obvious. So I can't give this writing full credit. Grammar was lacking and the intent, the attempt to communicate was lacking. So let's give this a 6 out of 10. All right. Nowadays, good, very nice. Nowadays, we see children who live, why are all these spaces? Why all the spaces? Who live in the countryside and can't go to school and have health problems because there aren't any schools and hospitals where they live. All right, nowadays we see children who live in the countryside and can't go to school and have health issues. All right, let's take now here we have this and can't go to school and have health issues, have health problems because there aren't any schools, aren't any aren't any schools or hospitals where they live. To find solutions to this problem, we decided okay, this is a very classic like Arabic/French mistake. We decided, my friends and I decided. Because we can't, with this we, it just means my friends and I. So let's just say my friends and I. And I decided to talk to our teachers about it. Well, we don't need this. This is not necessary. In order to help these poor children to study, to make their lives better. Because without being educated, they won't be. Okay, different ideas. The sentence is way too long. Let's break it up. To find solutions to this problem, comma, my friends and I decided to talk to our teachers in order to help these poor children to study to make their lives better. Okay. Without being educated, they won't be able to help their families, nor will they be successful in their lives. Ooh, nice, nice, very good. Now here you have sort of like the effect, the thing that has happened, right? And here you have the reason why it has happened. So let's change the order here. Let's put this one here and then change it up. Now it reads better. Because here we have the cause and here we have the effect. This makes more sense when you're reading. All right. Second, I will organize with my classmates in university a small business where we'll be selling bio products such as makeup, juice, and beauty products. Okay, let's take this sentence. Let's break it apart. Okay. It says second. Now we can't have second because we never had a first. So we can't, if we want this second here, we need to say like, first I spoke with blah, 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 or first I'm going to blah, blah, blah. We can't do this. So, okay, let's leave it this. I will organize. Organize in English is written with a Z. Organize with my classmates. Okay, let's say not organize with my classmates, but my classmates and I will organize. Will organize a small business where, now the small business, it's not a place. So let's say in which we will be selling bio products. Now I understand, like in French, bio. In English, we say organic. Things are not bio in English. Things are organic. Organic products such as makeup. Makeup, I believe, is written like this. Makeup, juice, and beauty products to our teachers, families, and friends. Very nice. Okay. Now, lots of people are going to tell you, don't start a sentence with but, or and, or. You can do it all the time. It doesn't matter. Just don't do it too much. But before we start this project, everyone must give a contribution to it. You give a contribution to something. Give a contribution to it. especially the teachers that are, oh, I'm not going to give a big contribution. Sorry, I'm poor. But I especially the teachers that are going to give big contributions. This sentence doesn't read so well, but before we start this project, everyone must give a contribution to it, especially the teachers that are going to give big contributions, let's say the biggest. Because big contribution sounds like the teachers are paying all the money. But this just means we're spending like more money than everybody else. And that I'm okay with. Um, I'm also not so certain. I don't like the are going to. I prefer will here because in English we usually use going to for something that is certain. And right now we're just talking about this planned project, not certain. So let's use will here. Following that, we will donate the money that, ooh, we will donate the money that we have gained, because you've gained the money and then you will donate it. You can also use the future perfect here. We will donate the money that we will have gained. That is the most grammatically correct way to say this because you will have gained it in the future. We will donate the money that we will have gained. Now, I don't like this will and will. So I'm going to change this one to going to. Even though it's uncertain and it's a plan, it's easier to read. We're going to donate the money that we will have gained to the organizations with a Z. Organizations in poor villages to build schools and hospitals there. Okay, yeah, that's good. Afterwards, we are going to buy clothes and books, and we will go there every week to help pupils with their studies in different subjects like mathematics and languages. That's good. That's very good. I'm really liking this writing. I like this plan. Um, get donations, use the donations to build schools, to build hospitals, and then use some sort of like volunteer effort to help students out. I think that sounds like a great idea. Um, in fact, people do that right now. So let's see. This writing out of 10 points. The grammar was okay. Not too many problems with the grammar. So let's put that at around an 8. And there was the real intention, right? There was a real idea here, something that this person was really trying to communicate. So yeah, I think I'll keep this at an 8. This writing gets 80%. It's a good one. Well done. This one's about harassment. And it's difficult, it's impossible for me to edit this one. So I'll just edit as I speak. Casablanca, a big city. Really? Come on now. Casablanca is a big city with a magnificent history. Comma, classified as the beating heart of Morocco. Morocco. Capital M. Morocco. Now here we give a description of Morocco, and then we talk about its economic growth. So this is no good. As the beating heart of Morocco, point, period, full stop. As the beating heart of Morocco, period. Capital letter. The exponential economic growth in the 80s and 90s Now you have to say in the 80s and 90s, or you need to say in the past century. You can't say both of them. You can't say in the 80s and 90s, and then go on to say in the past century. No, you need to say in the 80s, or you need to say in the past century. You need to choose one time frame here. Was the main cause of the rural exodus. A lot, L-O-T, a lot of people in small space, the diversity. This one's really difficult to read. A lot of people in small spaces. What's the diversity? What did they do to the diversity? Did they diminish the diversity? Did they increase the diversity? What did they do to it? The weak scholar system, the weak school system, the weak education system, not scholar system, and plenty of other factors, mental, racial, and cultural. The harassment floats. The harassment floats in the top. Now, things don't float in the top. Things float on the top, or things float to the top. Things don't float in the top. Float to, float on the top, especially in the 2.0 age. So we definitely can't say, none of this makes sense to me. Okay, everything from here to here is just wrong. It's just wrong. If I were reading this at work, someone sent me an email like this, I would fire the person. Of course, hey, you're learning English, so it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, but it doesn't make sense. So I'm sorry. This here, I just can't read it. I don't really understand what you mean here. This is become, not this is become, this has become, present perfect. This has become a critical position. Period. Point. We must move. Okay, like we must move. Okay. Okay, we must move. Especially the ONG. ONG is French. In English, we say NGO. Especially the NGOs. Point. Period. Point. They must demand. This is French. Demand. No E on the end. The ultime sanction. The final sanctions, or the ultimate sanctions, or the highest sanctions, the highest punishments, and invent new méthodes, and invent new methods to grow the people awareness. Now it's the awareness of the people, so it is the people's, apostrophe S, the people's awareness. And especially reach everyone. Everyone is one word, not two words, one word. Viral videos, stickers, conference, no accent, conferences. We did it before for, oh yeah, Zeromika, Saformika. Okay, yeah, that did work, which was a campaign to reduce. Campaign is written like this. Campaign. That's how you write campaign. Which was a campaign to reduce plastic bag usage, and the zero aggression campaign. Again, campaign. We must go viral. Okay. All right. Now, the grammar here was bad. The grammar was just bad. There were many parts of this writing that I just couldn't understand. Now, could I have input my own ideas and made it something interesting and made it something that uses the same language to communicate a new idea? Yes, I could do that. But that's not my job. My job is to correct what you have already said. So here, I would have to give this a 5, a 5 for grammar. 5 out of 10, 50%. This just doesn't make sense. But there's a real idea here. There's a very real idea that's trying to be communicated. And because of that, I'm going to have to bump it up. I'm going to have to bump it up quite a lot. I want to say like a 6.5 out of 10, which is just barely passing. So this writing, because it has such weak grammar, only gets 5 points. But because it has such a good idea behind it, that idea goes more towards like a 7 or an 8. So I'm going to give this a 65%. Okay, so those are the writings that we have for today. I hope that you guys learned something, and I hope that you understand the sort of corrections and the edits that I had to make there in order to make these better. Again, one of the big ones that we have here is after one, after you use this phrase one of, you need to use the plural. One of this, one of these, one of that's, one of those. One of these is financial problems. One of the main sources. One of our main problems. And simple conjugation errors. Also in English, we don't put a space after or before punctuation. The punctuation follows the letter immediately. All right. I hope you guys learned something, and until the next time, good luck with your English journey. Take care for now.